books. Can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Wednesday, January 15th. We've got basketball, and more basketball today as our featured coverage. Got a couple of games on the ice, but it's basketball and more basketball today as we get rolling here with our previews for Wednesday. Talk sports and sports betting with you for the next couple of hours here. Maybe not a couple of hours here. Let me straighten up and try to look good here for the show. I was trying to wait as long as possible. I'm watching the lengthy match here from the Australian Open between Alexander Davidovich and Felix Auger-Aliassime. I think it has finally ended here. ADF, despite a couple of temper tantrums or whatever was going on there at the end of the match, he's just closed it out here against FAA here, 6-7, 6-7, 6-4, 6-1, 6-4, 6-3, and the action is over in Australia today. That match took a while for sure. I believe it was actually delayed because of some crowd noise on one of the adjacent courts, but that concludes the action at the Australian Open today. So we'll talk maybe a little tennis, but we got some soccer here as well. We've got fixtures in the EPL today, including a couple of hot ones here for sure today after what we saw yesterday. But we got Arsenal and Hotspurs, Newcastle taking on Wolves here today as our features. How about yesterday? We saw some of those games, right? Liverpool, the tie against Nottingham Forest. I said take Forest and the goals there as Jota had that header to get the tie, and Liverpool is able to tie against Forest. Forest actually had, some success against Liverpool at home, so they were in that one. Manchester City and Brentford yesterday. City blew that 2-0 lead, and Brentford was able to get the draw out of that. Chelsea ties Bournemouth with that free kick there in extra time, and was West Ham beating Fulham. So what are you guys looking for today? I'm trying to find some extra sports here. After I got rocked in college basketball, I put myself through the ringer here tonight, this morning, trying to handicap this card and get back on track after a sucky day in college basketball. We did have some success in the NBA last night, and tried to pick it up there a little bit, but I finished in the red yesterday with my picks. So let me say hello to everyone in the chat and see what's going on here. I'm going to be ready for a great day for sure, but I need your help here from the chat all-stars. Hello, stars. Nice to see everyone here filing in, a couple dozen of you in here right now. So let me say hello to my friends here. It's Stony Mob here. Hello to Stony. Nice to have Stony Mob here today. Gosh, good to see you. Here's Cash Kane, ready to go. Joe T's in the chat today. Here's Toucan rolling with me today. He wants a Euro League action there today, so he's going to get me fired up to play some Euro League here one of these afternoons for sure. We got some games there as well. Rye Cape had a good day yesterday, so someone did. Good job. And Joe W here as well. There's Nuke in the chat. Thank you to Nuke there. And Toucan also talking a little AHL, looks like, in there. Man, I might have to come with it here today. I don't know if I've got anything just yet. Maybe Colorado there uh, today, but they're such a big favorite. So, all right, T Bird there. He's talking a little prop action from last night. Here's Thomas in the chat. Good morning, everyone. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and pass it around. With our channel here, Sports Money. We did have yesterday our UFC previews get underway. I was joined yesterday, VB and I, by Dagestan Poppy with our preview for UFC 311. We previewed the main event plus a couple of other bouts for Saturday night's action. We will have companion coverage here on the Sports Money Network for Saturday's action. Here from Los Angeles this week. I think it's all systems go here in LA. We've obviously played some home games at the arenas here a little bit, so I think they can get this one going at the beautiful new Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, where the Clippers play their home games. Clippers have played a home game obviously now, so I'm sure they'll be ready to go on Saturday night with the action in Los Angeles. We'll also have First Strike recorded tonight and up here late for more previews from our UFC crew for this weekend. But we want to invite you to join us also on Saturday for companion coverage of UFC 311. Really good card here this week. You know, they'll always start strong here for sure. All right, Alvin is here today. Fernando as well. There's Robert McCormick today. And see who else we got in here. Gerardo is here as well. Thank you, Elliot. Thank you. Good to see all you guys in here. Some steam is already popping off. I imagine that we will have some hot action here from the steam. It was kind of quiet early on, getting ready for the show. I was kind of wondering if it was broke. You guys awake over there at the line at the odds service? Let me know here with the steam. It's starting to roll in right now. So I think we'll have a lot of steam here today with the show. I'll kind of pop some off here as we get going today. And man, I'm really got to hit this. I can't believe I'm in a little slump in my favorite college basketball here right now. All right, Fernando, is it underdogs today? Was it yesterday? I don't know. Here, Bo's here as well. Our Tops, hello. Philly Eagle Flyer didn't like the action yesterday on the soccer there. Flanae Jones is here, went off yesterday. How about that? Nicholas Handy here as well. And Philly Eagle Flyer talking about our action today. I guess we could kind of roll the matchups out a little bit here today, but he's talking action there today with Tottenham over their corners there, and the Villa game against Everton, Newcastle, and Wolves. All right. Ziggy's here as well. Elliot says, anything in golf yet? I'm going to be ready to roll in golf. I was hoping we could get a show together, you guys here, but we're just not quite able to get around to it right now. So just my golf coverage will probably be covered in my free winnable package this week. I was hoping we could get it started before the California swing, but that'll be something we can approach here on the Sports Money Network. We plan on doing some extra golf coverage. You've seen some here already on the channel, so maybe we'll get that going here with the guys this week. We got, obviously a day here we can get it going, but tonight I'll be ready to roll on the golf. All right. Let me do the commercial. Here's Joe Alvarado as well. Thank you for joining me. And turn off the tennis match over here now. There we go. All right, let me put up the commercial here real quick and let everybody know I'm still going to be firing today on college basketball for sure. Here, I also have NBA premium picks and NHL selections as well tonight with my picks over at winnable.com. You can follow me at winnable.com/Ramon. I have a free subscription over there. I'll have some golf plays for sure firing out tonight, and you can get my other plays as well in college basketball, NBA, NHL tonight for just $4 a day, $8 a week, $19.95 a month, and you can get picks for just as little as 50 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM at checkout. Save 20% off my uh, extra content here on the Sports Money Network. So appreciate that. You can, there it is, use that promo code STEAM. Click that QR code in the lower right hand corner of the screen. It'll take you right to that winnable page there, and you can subscribe using Google Pay, Apple Pay. What happens there is it just comes up right in the browser. You can do it on your computer or on your phone to get my selections over there at Winnable. This is how you support me here on the channel, coming back every day and doing our little show, and I appreciate you guys very much. All right, I'm going to get back to the action here right now and see who else is joining us, and we'll get ready for the show. It's a lot of basketball. Like I said today, we got 2 hockey games because they're so smart at scheduling their games. So, all right, let's see who else is here. Rye Cape's ready to go. He does have his golf action here and ready to go this week. Of course, we're at La Quinta this week for the Amex, and we already did get that one. Xander Schauffele yesterday retiring from the tournament this week. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if there's really too much to recap here from yesterday's action. At least I don't want to recap it, but we'll touch on it here anyway. I could not find very many winners in college basketball, frankly. So maybe I could talk about a few of them. I did come back late with a winner, Air Force and Nevada game to go over, but I just kept taking L's after L's, actually. So I'm kind of lucky that I was able to get some winners in the NBA. Maybe I'd prefer to talk about as we get underway with the action. I did have premium pick winners in the NBA with the Atlanta Hawks yesterday over the Phoenix Suns. You guys had the winner yesterday, or we all did actually, with the Oklahoma City Thunder over Philadelphia. I had them. Consensus had them in the chat. Mikey Money had him on pregame. Everybody rolled with the Thunder again over the 76ers. Also, I had a premium pick winner with the Kings and the Bucks game to go over. I also gave out the Bucks here on the show yesterday. Also, I had the Denver Nuggets here on the show yesterday, and also premium pick winner last night, Brooklyn and Portland game to go over. We had Brooklyn on the show yesterday as our show winner, and Mikey Money also gave that one out on pregame as we both agreed to that one. And NHL split the card there yesterday. A little bit tough results there. I thought we were going to eke out a profit, but I did have Anaheim and Washington game to go under. We did give out the Stars and the Maple Leafs here on the show yesterday, game to go under. Also, consensus winner yesterday, you guys had the Boston Bruins over the Tampa Bay Lightning with a great call by the consensus. I had a winner, Florida and New Jersey, premium pick winner on the under. I gave out the Senators here on the show yesterday over the Islanders. I also had the Jets over the Canucks here on the show yesterday. Also winner here on the show, Flames and Blues game to go under. So, man, we keep doing pretty well, it feels like, on these picks. Mikey's been rolling on his hockey as well. So, unfortunately, just 2 games today on the ice. But also, last night, we did have a winner with the game total to go under with the Rangers and the Avalanche. We also took the Rangers on the puck line yesterday. And, of course, we had the Montreal Canadiens here yesterday on the show as our pick. So still finished 3 games under 500. Not acceptable. So let's talk sports. We'll talk basketball. It's basketball here today for sure. All right, let's see who else is in here with Sir Mackey. Thank you very much for your support and appreciation. You do a great job keeping it real in the chat, so appreciate that too, Sir Mackie. Here comes a bunch of steam right now. Let's talk some moves here real quick before we get right to the game by game action here. Steam rolling in on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining me. Wolford and Chattanooga. We're seeing some steam here to the under in this one with Wofford and Chattanooga. I gotta think that's probably the way to go. This series has been an under series between these two teams, and Wofford often goes under, as seems like in this type of conference situation as a road dog. So steam coming in here on the under. I think I want to back it here, but we'll just kind of move along, and I don't have that game as part of our coverage here today. But Wofford and Chattanooga going under here at 147 right now. It was 148. All right, we saw some steam also here with Lehigh and Boston. Two teams that maybe have seen a couple of unders this season. With Lehigh and Boston, it was 130. We're down to 129 here right now. BU has played some overs as a home conference favorite over the last season and a half or so. But the steam still came in on the over here in this one. Let me make sure I got that right. The steam is on the over here, you guys. 131 right now, not under for whatever reason. I read that wrong. Over Lehigh and Boston going up to 131. All right. Also, just as I was about to hit the airwaves here, Penn State and Michigan State steam here to the under. These teams have played a couple of unders for sure. Michigan State's kind of in an under position with being a home favorite in conference play. So here came some steam at 155 down to 154 right now. I was considering using that one in the premium picks here, and I still may end up doing that now with this sharp action coming in here. NHL, we just have a couple of games today, but one of them already is getting steamed here this morning with the Carolina Hurricanes. They were $1.80 or so, but they're up to $1.95 at some spots, $2.10 at some of the square shops right now. Big 30-cent move here. Carolina on the road against Buffalo today in the NHL as a steam move that came in here just as we got the show underway. Also, steam came in. Pittsburgh and Florida State. Game total to go over. I think we do have this one in our previews here this evening. The steam came in here on the over. It was 148. I expect this one to get as high as 150 and a half here as it already continues to climb here this morning. All right, we got a good card here of NBA plays, and I have loaded up a little extra action here for us when we get to college basketball because of the lack of hockey today. So probably got a dozen games to look at in the colleges, but let's go to the NBA and get the show started here and see your comments here a little bit, see what's going on. And Jermaine says, get these hockey games out of the way. I'm just going to keep, I'm going to go with the same format here and leave the college to last. We'll squeeze those two games in between. But I almost agree with you, Jermaine. Maybe if they were, better games. I don't know. Edmonton and Minnesota should be a good game. But, man, Edmonton here is also on the move higher as well. The move is almost mimicking the Hurricanes move. It's almost like the sharps are just blindly betting these favorites here today and moving the line here 20-30 cents here today. So both games are on the move with the favorites here right now for sure. Okay, let's go to the NBA here. We'll get to the action and with a big card for sure. Started off with the Knicks on the road at the Sixers here in this one. The Sixers, man, they look bad here, right? Every day it seems like another adventure for the Sixers, and they're a big underdog here today, 6-point underdog against the Knicks. In fact, I'm showing right now 6.5 at Bet Online. The total here 219 and a half, maybe even a 220 out there or so. A slight move here to the over. I think both these teams have been kind of trickling over here this year. Look, with the Celtics, the Sixers' poor spread record here so far this season, does feel like the Sharps are kind of on the Sixers here in this one, but I'm not sure I would want any part of that right now. We can go ahead and see what you guys think in this one. We'll go over a couple news and notes here and see what's going on in tonight's game with New York and Philadelphia. The Knicks are 26-15. Philadelphia just 15-23 here right now. The Knicks have covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia continues to struggle a bit here, having lost 3 in a row. They're pretty poor at home also, with just a 6-12 straight up record. 4-13-1 against the spread for the Sixers, 6-13-2 as an underdog for Philadelphia. The Knicks haven't been great covers necessarily of late, but they did end up getting a victory over Milwaukee a few nights ago, but then bounced back, or at least struggled the next night out in that loss to Detroit. So see if you guys are going to play this one with the Knicks on the road here, taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. I think both teams pretty clear on this injury report here today as far as what we know for the Knicks. You got Brunson probable. He's been bothered by that shoulder injury. Cat is questionable here in this one with a thumb injury. Maxey, we saw yesterday, right? We don't know. I think if anything, we got to keep an eye on his status. He is questionable with a hand injury, and Joel Embiid is questionable as well. So do have some issues here. Kyle Lowry questionable, Paul George questionable, Drummond questionable. This one makes it a little bit tough with some of these big names out. So I'm going to use the Knicks as a free play here in this one. Even today, it does seem a little bit shaky on the injury report, so we'll kind of solidify that a little later, but I want to make a play here, and I do prefer the spot here, at least for the Knicks, but I will say there has been a little bit of sharp action, it feels like, on Philadelphia here. Also, Sharps are they're kind of mixed on the total here right now. Let's go to the chat, see what you guys have to say in this one. Today, Nuke loves the NBA so much. I think he's just here to listen to me talk. Started off here with Elliot going with the Knicks and the over. Ziggy wants the over in this one. And Tremaine says the Sixers are so bad he doesn't want to bet against them here. And Thomas says the Knicks are going to go in there and get a game. What does that mean? They're going to go in and win this one? Is anybody going to play for the Sixers today? Right? Cape says the Sixers are a drama every day. Man, they are. And here's some plays. Flynn is on the Knicks, and Roberts on the Knicks as well. Our Thompson is going with the Knicks here. Oh, under for our Thompson this one. And Thomas says maybe with that back-to-back, the Sixers here on the back-to-back today, that's another issue for them in this one. They, got kind of blown out there yesterday. Bo says, let's go Knicks. So, all right, I'm just going to take the Knicks here. Guess anybody could do that, but I'm not going to get tricky at this point with the Sixers here. So let's have a big day. I see we're kind of blowing up here in the markets early on. So how long will that last? All right, Fernando going over here. I think that'll do it for me. I'm just going to take the Knicks. I wasn't sure on this total here necessarily. I do think if you look at the two teams right now, you got the Knicks going over here, 12-9 to the over on the road. Sixers don't have much pattern, I don't think, to their totals here at this point. But I think if you look at the numbers overall, maybe they just trend over a little bit season long, but nothing really in this series. So, all right, Philadelphia has gone under in, let's see, I want to say 5 straight. Look at some of these home games for Philly here anyway. See if I can get anything going on the total. Went under at home against Washington, under at home against Phoenix, but over at home against New Orleans, and over then against that OKC game last night. All right, let me just take the Knicks here. in this one. All right. Oh, and Thomas says it's already a consensus play here. Wow, we're starting it off. One game in. Nobody took the Sixers. You're exactly right. Nobody. It seemed like on the Sixers there in the chat. All right. Let's to the next game here with the Celtics taking on the Raptors. Hey, you know how I feel about this? I think we've got it still down. Yeah, we lost one. Trying to figure out the Celtics. We say we got them here. You know, we always know what's going to happen with the Celtics. And like I said, basically it comes because of their patterns. You know, it just seems so distinctive here, and they're in the same kind of situation it feels like again here today when they take on the Raptors. We know the Raptors are great against the spread. They just snapped their losing streak last time out as well. Yeah, they were losing, but they were covering. That's what the Raptors do. Actually, they've actually failed to cover in a few of them here of late, but they did remember knock off the Warriors here the other night, 104 to 101, and the Celtics they won last time out, right? They beat New Orleans 120 to 119 as a 14.5 point favorite. Failed to cover the spread there again, right? And here it is again with our Boston Celtics trends. They've failed to cover now 12 of their last 13 games off of a win. So you really think they're going to go into Toronto today and win by 2 touchdowns against a Toronto team that's 13-7-1 against the spread at home, 21-14 against the spread as a dog. Meanwhile, the Celtics are 15-21 on the road. I'm going to the total in this one. I'm saving the Raptors here for the premium picks. Just I'll let you know right now here. I'm looking to get off today, if you know what I mean. So pretty much going to keep rolling with the pattern of the Celtics. It just seems so predictable. And maybe it'll backfire here today, but I'm going to end up going under in this game with Boston and Toronto as my play here on the show. Just feel much more comfortable with the total there. For at least the show pick. Boston 5-13 to the under on the road. So if they continue this pattern, I would think it probably would, kind of go to form here. That's where it's kind of been the case, anyways, with these bounce back, often going on the road following a win there. So let's see what you guys have on the chat today in this one. I hope I'm a little bit better than you know what? Yesterday I felt, for whatever reason, I was not enjoying the card. I wasn't feeling like I was giving a great show, and I ended up having some crummy picks. So let's have a fun day here today. Boston and Toronto, 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here have gone under when playing in Toronto. 10 of the last 14 games overall have gone under between these two teams. So Boston's been an under team. Toronto's been an over team for sure, but I'm going to end up on the under as my play here. Boston has won 12 of the last 13 trips into Toronto. They beat them in 5 straight, but come on. 13 or 14 points. Celtics have enough trouble winning. It's not even 30. It's 14 for sure. It might even be a notch higher. So good on them. Good on them if they're going to take the Celtics here today. I'm going to be on the Raptors here, but total is my play. The total is my play on the show. Let's see if you agree with me here in this one. With Ziggy's going with the Raptors here. Elliot is on the Raptors and the under. Jermaine says maybe he'll be on the under here in this one. Also, Jermaine says the Celtics, just going to be kind of going through the motions and try to, you're not going to catch Cleveland, it feels like here at this point, right? I don't know. Still a long season to go, guys. We're just reaching the halfway point here this weekend, pretty much. So, all right, Robert here going under in this one with me. Our Tomps likes the Raptors plus the points. Celtics first half for Cash Kane to be willing to lay the points here. What is it? It's got to be 8, I would think, on the road. I didn't look, but thanks for the soccer conversation in there, you guys. I failed to mention some other games in the on the pitch today. There's not only the action in the EPL, but one game in Serie A and 5 from Bundesliga. So maybe I'll have a package today. Again, that light soccer schedule gives me a little extra time after the show. Probably fire away. All right. I think that might be it in this one. Let me move on to the next matchup here with the Dallas Mavericks taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Here, this one, you got Dallas on the road, 2.5, and the total here is 225. Got good news from the Mavericks here yesterday. We're going to find out that Luka will likely return possibly before the maybe the end of the month, probably more likely before the All-Star break. He'd like to play there in that All-Star event. I don't know. I'd probably just skip it the way they're making the event not watchable anymore. So anyway, the good news though, they've kind of targeted a little bit of a return time here for Luka moving forward. So right now it's not going to be the case, but we did see Kyrie here returning, and that's good news. Mavericks here 2.5, and the total is 225. And this one also, though, Lively left that last game there against oh gosh, who was it, you guys? Last night, Denver, of course, Denver in the game last night. Lively left the game with a turned ankle, and didn't look great. But we'll see what happens with the 24 hours. He might have to miss this next one here. So Herb Jones out still for New Orleans. I think that's pretty much it for the injury situation. So we can see what you like here a little bit and look at some trends and moves for the matchup here with Dallas taking on New Orleans. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams here in New Orleans have gone over. Also, Dallas, they probably get the best of it here spread-wise right now, mostly because New Orleans isn't great against the number 17 and 24. Dallas has a favorite, at least they're 11 and 10 against the number, and New Orleans just 14 and 18 as an underdog here in this one. So not easy. Let's see what you got in the matchup here with the Mavericks and the Pelicans tonight. I'll go to the chat on this one. Not a pretty matchup here, it feels like. Started off with Ziggy taking the Mavs on the money line. Elliott's on the Mavs and over. Look at this. Dallas 3 straight. It's all about Dallas. Thomas says, I've seen enough. It's Dallas. I'll ride with you guys in this one. If you guys are going to take a consensus play here on the Mavericks in this one, I'll go ahead and jump on with you guys at this point and take the Mavericks with you here. Got some steam rolling in. I think I'd like to touch on it here. We'll just take a little pause from the NBA. Robert did like the Pelicans, though, in this one. And let me just read off a couple of moves here in college basketball coming in right now. Murray State and Illinois Chicago. We're seeing a move here to the under in this one with Murray on the road against Illinois Chicago. Steam coming in was 139. We're down to 138, maybe even 137.5 with the steam coming in. Murray and Illinois Chicago here today. Also, moments ago, South Carolina and Vanderbilt. Here's steam to the under in this one with Vandy at home against South Carolina. It was 143. We're down to 142 here right now. That's a series that those two teams kind of go over when they meet, but I think if you look at overall this season, both teams kind of trend under, and South Carolina for sure seems to go under in those conference games on the road as a dog. So steam came in on the under with South Carolina and Vanderbilt just seconds ago. It's Troy taking steam here tonight for sure in their game. Troy was a 12.5 point favorite on the road against Louisiana Monroe, they're up to 13 or more here right now. Troy's been a pretty good cover here for sure. Now, Monroe's done well in that series against Troy, but the steam's coming in on Troy right now, going from 12.5 to 13 here on the road. Also, the Citadel took some steam here in their matchup. They are a big underdog, of course, today in their game, but the Citadel taking some big time steam here right now. They were a 17-point dog, but they could be down to 15.5 here right now. They haven't been great for sure. Greensboro has some covers, but Citadel taking the steam here on the road against Greensboro. That's usually a pretty high scoring series, and this is a pretty low total for what we've usually seen in those games. Maybe Citadel's slightly improved their defense in years past, but I don't know about that. All right, UAB.
System play.
UAB took some steam. They're getting steamed here. They were -2, and now they're going higher here in their matchup against South Florida. Could be up to 3 here right now. Disclosure that I was going to preview that game, and I like UAB, so I'll just mention it right now while the move is coming in, so it doesn't get too far away from us. I do like UAB. Going to be my pick on the preview of that game. They've done pretty well in the series against South Florida, and I like UAB. So they're getting steam though right now from 2, maybe up to 3 here in that one. All right. Continue on with our NBA coverage here right now. And Thomas is thinking about getting the premium. I'm pretty sure Thomas has already signed up. Maybe he's just doing the commercial for me. Thank you, my friend. C-Man is here today. Thank you. And Flanae was talking. Oh, he took the Pelicans. We did have a couple of Pelicans backers in there for sure in that matchup. They might have been latecomers there with Robert and Flanae. So, all right, let's keep going here right now and move to the Magic taking on the Bucks here. Hey, we did give out the Bucks here on the show yesterday to roll against the Kings there, but they're going to be favorites here in this one against the Orlando Magic today. Orlando Magic has been a moneymaker for sure here, but right now the Magic coming in here off of a win in their last game. They were able to knock off the Sixers at 104-99. They've had a couple of days off here coming this one. They've covered 2 straight. The Bucks were able to beat Sacramento, of course, as I just said, last night, 130-115 as a 2-point favorite in that one, but they beat them up pretty good there yesterday. Look, Orlando's been a decent cover, 23-18 against the spread, but on the road, not so much. They really do most of their damage at home. However, Milwaukee just hasn't been a good cover either, going 17-21 against the spread, 12-16 against the spread as a favorite. So see if you guys can make heads or tails of this one with the Magic and the Bucks. Orlando has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams overall. Milwaukee's dominated the series, winning 18 of the last 20 matchups between the two teams, including 5 straight at home. But man, I don't know about them laying very many points on the back-to-back. Feels a little risky here, but Orlando has gone under in 6 of their last 7 games overall. They're also 8-12 to the under on the road, and Milwaukee's 8-12 to the under at home. So I'm going to take the under in this one at 212 here right now. In fact, I'm showing 210.5 at Bet Online. So I'm just going to make it my play here on the show and go under in this one. Look, Orlando continues to play some of the lowest scoring games in the league, it feels like, this season. I'm going to try the under here. 2 teams that are 34-46 to the under combined. I'm going to take the under in the Magic game tonight with the Bucks there. And let's see here. Yeah, but Thomas says Dallas Mavericks were a consensus. I got you, Thomas. I'm rolling with Dallas there. I'm not pivoting to the total there, though. I'm going to just ride with Team Steam. I might be saving the total in that one. Elliot likes the Bucks and the over in this one. He might be going right against me there, Elliot. Ziggy likes the over as well in this matchup. Thomas says, I'll try the Bucks again to beat them up. R. Thompson is going to be on the Madge. Roberts with me on the under tonight. Billy Siegfried here in the chat. Hello to Billy. Thank you. Good to see you. Denver 8-0 off the back-to-back. Yeah, Denver's got an interesting, right? I was trying to conceptualize that a little bit, why they have been so successful as a back-to-back team. And Billy also says, got another play later on, just in a couple of games here. Says Atlanta's not good on the back-to-back and not good on the road. Take the Bulls. All right. I think that does it for that one. We're going to move it along with next up, Warriors on the road. Where is my Warriors graphic? Oh, there we go. Have it out of order here. Warriors and Timberwolves. Warriors on the road. 5.5, 5-point favorite. Let's call it 5 here right now with Golden State on the road. Here, yeah, I think I got the order right. Golden State, they've lost 2 straight games here right now, all of a sudden, as I was trying to talk them up on the road here of late, but they've lost to Toronto and Indiana in the last 2 games. Minnesota coming in here off of a win, 120-106 over Washington. They didn't get the money, but they were close. They only missed by half a point, laying 14.5. So for Golden State here, in this one, let me see. Okay, this is where I messed up a little bit. This is a time change, you guys. We'll just keep it right here on this game, but this game has been moved to 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific, so no wonder I couldn't find it there. I typed them in right and I had them in the wrong order. So this one actually is moved to a later start. Apologize for getting out of order in the time order. We're in rotation order, though, with the matchup, so that should be okay. Anyway, for Golden State here right now, they've failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games overall, but Minnesota's a pretty bad cover as well. Just 4-13-1 against the spread home this season for Minnesota. I might prefer Golden State here. I'll probably end up on the Warriors, try to snap this losing streak here right now. Minnesota has defeated Golden State in 8 of their last 10 meetings here in Minnesota, but I'm going to take Golden State plus 5 points right now in this one. Yeah, they're up to 6, actually. I think I can safely move them to 6. Again, this one now at 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific tonight. So make sure you note the time change here. As far as the total is concerned, man, the Warriors are definitely continuing to trend under right now. They've gone under in 6 of their 19 road games. They're also 5-11 to the under as a dog. The Wolves have been going over of late, 7 of their last 10. They're still 15-18 to the under as a dog. So I'll go to the chat and see what you guys have on this one. There we go. Between the Warriors and the Wolves. All right, let's see what we got here. Billy says he thinks the Rockets are the pick of the day, and he likes Memphis as well. Thomas says we got to know about those Warriors injuries going into this one today. With Draymond questionable. Pajemski is out. Also, Kuminga is out. The tempo definitely changes without Pajemski in there. I definitely have to admit that here right now. Man, he's a impressive young player for sure. Peyton probable and Jackson Davis, who did lead that game the 2 nights ago with that thumb injury. He is listed as probable here today. So Shannon Jr. out for the Timberwolves. And let's keep it going here right now with some more picks. Chosen ones here today. Took Houston-Denver game to go under. Ziggy's on the Warriors with me. Fernando's got that injury update as well. And yeah, Dre is questionable there. Robert McCormick says Warriors and under. Billy loves the way the Rockets are looking on the road. Elliot says the Warriors are his pick in this game. He says Warriors. Uh, let's see, the Wolves haven't been covering that kind of number here right now. And Billy says Golden State. How do you trade your best rebounder? Ziggy says, man, it's up to 6.5 here in this one. Billy says, if with Steph, if he's on, you're okay. If he's not, you're doomed. I'll take Golden State here in this one. Plus those points. Next up, you guys had some comments already about this one with the Hawks taking on the Bulls tonight. The Bulls favored here by 2, and the total here, wow, look at this one at 244 and a half here. And these two teams definitely have some overs here this season. You look at Atlanta 26-13 to the over so far this season. Most of those, though, really are at home. On the road, they definitely trend mostly to the under, it feels like. The widely reported steam has come in on the under. Actually, they are 12-9 to the over on the road, but comparatively, they're 14-4 to the over at home. Still, the Bulls are an under team as a favorite, 2-8 to the under. When laying the points, they're also 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games overall. The Bulls may be the better situation spread wise because Atlanta's 16-23 overall against the spread, including 8-13 against the spread on the road. They're a pretty good dog though, 12-11 as an underdog overall. So we can get your play here maybe in this one with Atlanta and Chicago here tonight. Go into the chat and see what you have in this one with the Hawks on the road here. Do have, I think, one notable injury here. Maybe two. Let's see what we got here. Hunter questionable for Atlanta. Johnson questionable as well. And Lonzo out of this game just needs rest. Man, his cut was so sharp, though, last night against New Orleans, wasn't it? I mean, every time he would drive by his man on the baseline and be able to – now, they didn't win that game, but I thought he looked pretty good. All right, I'm looking here for Atlanta and Chicago in the chat. See what you got. We got some more steam coming in college basketball here. And maybe Ziggy's going in the over in this one, but Elliot likes the Bulls and the under. And Flanay's on Minnesota in that game against the Warriors. He also likes Chicago here. Cash Kane liking the Bulls. Robert McCormick on the under in this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the under. Thomas is on the Bulls here. I'm going with Thomas. I'm going to take the Bulls in this matchup. Maybe the Hawks, maybe the Trends, season series wise, kind of favor Atlanta when these two teams meet, but I'm going to try the Bulls. See if we have that overall between these two. Chicago 6-2 against the spread at home against Atlanta. 8-3 last 11 at home against Atlanta. So I like that. Let's take the Bulls here tonight. I'm going to take them and lay 2 points here. R. Tom likes the under in this one. Jermaine's got a prop here with Trey going over an assist. Thomas says it's consensus play. How about that? All right, I'm rolling with the consensus again here. I missed the boat. Already given out my play. So, all right, a couple more games down, 3 more games down. Time to stop the action here and look at a few more. Hey, Jason Neff, nice to see you. Thank you, Jason, being a member of the chat All-Stars today. Good to have you in here. All right, Lafayette. Taking some steam here against Army. They were getting a point. They might be a favorite here by the time this one gets moving. They've been a pretty decent cover so far this season. Army, not so much. So Lafayette taking the steam here in their matchup against Army today on the extra board. Also, in that game just moments ago, Steam came in on the over. So the move was in Lafayette and over in that matchup. It was 135.5. Looks like up to 136.5 here right now with Lafayette and Army. Also, moments ago, Edmonton and Minnesota hockey game, the Steam did come in on the over. Heavily juiced 5.5 is mostly 6 under already, anyways, but it should be noted that some steam did come in here. Edmonton and Minnesota game to go over. All right, keep it going here right now. In the NBA, we're going to move on to Memphis, taking on the Spurs here in this one. Memphis on the road, 2.5, and the total 239 here. Memphis has been alternating wins and losses over their last couple of games. They lost at Houston the other night, 120 to 118, but they got the money as a 2.5 point dog. They've covered 3 of their last 4 games. Of San Antonio off of that big blowout win, that fourth quarter surge against the Lakers, right? It kind of seemed apparent. Maybe that emotion kind of got to the Lakers there at the end of that game. They played so strong and then were just dead in the fourth quarter as the Spurs ended up blowing out the Lakers 126 to 102 to snap a 3-game losing streak, 3 straight failures against the spread as well, but they were able to get it done against the Lakers. So see what you might do here in this one. You got Minnesota, terrific cover so far, right? 26-13 overall, 18-8 against the spread as a favorite. San Antonio 7-3 against the spread in their last 10, but they are just 10-10 against the spread at home. So see what you have maybe here in this one. Memphis has actually defeated the Spurs in 5 straight meetings here in San Antonio between these division foes. They've also defeated San Antonio in 14 of the last 15 games straight up. Now, they are a 3-point favorite, but certainly a manageable spread here right now. And San Antonio's gone under in 5 of their last 6 overall. The Spurs here 3-6-1 to the under in their last 10 games, but Memphis 15-5 against the spread on the road. So see what you guys have in this one with Memphis and San Antonio. Memphis has covered the spread in 11 of their last 12 games off of a loss. Man, I kind of like the Memphis Grizzlies here as a premium, but I don't know about the total. I might have to use Memphis here right now. Let's see what you guys have in this one. And you got Billy's got his full card here, it looks like right now. I'll give you a second to take a look at that. Maybe take a screenshot. A lot of action there. Knicks, Samford, Spurs, Pelicans, Wolfpack, Oilers, SMU. Thank you, Billy. Thomas is on the Spurs here in this one. Elliot says the Spurs haven't gone under this number in forever right now with all their crazy scores here. It hasn't been, I think, he's saying that, yeah, under the 239 line hasn't been covered, meaning they haven't gone over, I think, 239 is what he's saying there. And now you expect them to here in this one is what he's saying, mostly because Memphis is kind of the big time over there, though, right? Let's see what we have. I think we have a for all the Memphis overs here, 15 and, like I said, 15-5 to the over on the road for Memphis. But all right, a few more here. Grizzlies for Ziggy. Jermaine's got some props in there, and Robert's going over as well. Billy's going to spend all this time, typing all that in. I mean, Billy's got faster fingers than I do, but I've got to leave that up there for a second. Thank you, Bill. Man, great work here with those comments. Really do appreciate it. I'm not going to let that just slip by and go through the chat without showing it here. Thank you, Bill. Really appreciate your contributions. All right. And Bo says, Grizzlies wearing those unis tonight. Fernando going under here. Maybe they'll show up, says Bo. Bill likes Memphis to go all the way in the West. So could it be Memphis and Cleveland, Memphis and Boston? Thomas says Memphis is another consensus. Wow. We got some consensus here. And, well, they're all games that I'm on here for once. Well, at least I won't be against the consensus here like I always complain about. Flynn is on Memphis as well. Boy. All right. We're on Memphis here. I'm on some totals, let's just say. I would just move to the total and give it out, but got to have a few premiums here, especially in the NBA, where we're definitely on a good streak in the NBA. NHL, I think we're on a pretty decent run, and the college needs some help. Oh boy, was I getting mad last night. I'm glad we weren't on the air anywhere. I was getting pretty upset with some of those finals last night. All right. You guys know I got a temper. All right. Alvin says maybe the Spurs will show up in this one tonight. Well, they could, but again, remember, I think for the Spurs here, the Grizzlies are good. The Grizzlies are good, right? Talking about going to the finals or whatever, 25-15 is going to be pretty good run. Watch out for the Grizzlies, certainly. All right, they might be. They might not be a complete enough team though. But in the West, what teams really have all of the package together, right? Okay, Hornets and Jazz here tonight with the Hornets a favorite on the road. I guess if the Hornets show up, they could beat the Jazz here. This one probably would skip if it wasn't for, having such a short schedule. But we'll still cover them here. The Hornets are 8-28. The Jazz are 10-28. So the Jazz actually have gotten the best of this series when the two teams meet. They only meet a couple of times a year, but the Jazz have won 16 of the last 17 meetings here in Utah. That's probably too big of a sample size to equate, the recency with these rosters, but there might be something to the travel here of a bad team coming into a place where it's always tricky to play. That seems enormous there. But I'm going to go with the total here, if you know what I mean, instead of vice versa. Like I was saying, saving some of the picks here for my premium picks today, but Hornets on the road. They're just 0-3 as a favorite this year so far. This is only the fourth time the Hornets have been favored. Utah's actually covered 7 of the last 10 games overall. They're kind of, getting some money here for sure of late. Also, the Hornets are 12-23 to the under this season. They are 2-1 to the over in those games that were favored, but I'm probably going to end up on the under. You talk about Utah winning all these games every time against Charlotte. 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Charlotte has gone under in 8 of their last 9 games overall. So maybe we've tacked on some Utah overs lately and cashed, but I got to go under here in this one with Charlotte and Utah here tonight. And see if you guys like this one here. Jermaine and I were getting mad last night at the college. I just get more mad at that because I feel like that's my best. When you give me that many games, right? I like the one guy I was watching. No disrespect. I was watching one of those big gambling channels, the one I liked the most, right? And the guy said, well, I was 17-10 in college basketball, doing well, and now all of a sudden I'm 17-17 this season. And he goes, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I thought to myself, you're not playing enough games. If you're a good handicap, I want to say if you're a good hand, maybe you pick one game and you zero in on it and you're great about that, right? But really, when you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, you'd think that you would play a higher volume in college basketball. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but I wouldn't think that losing 7 games in a row in college basketball, like I pretty much did last night at one point, is enough of a sample size in a sport that will feature, thousands of games during the season. Now, I know not everybody has no life sitting in their studios handicapping college basketball games all night, but and you got a big TV show you got to worry about. But I don't know, that guy that talks real fast, he seems to handicap a lot of college basketball games effectively. Okay, here we go. Let's see what you got in the Hornets and the Jazz here tonight with Elliot. He says Jazz Hornets haven't covered 5.5 anything. That's for sure. The Hornets aren't covering anything for sure. They can barely win any games. So all right, Flanae's on you in this one. Don't give out the premiums, Flanae. Here comes Ziggy. He likes the over, though, in this one. Ziggy and I are heads up in this one. That doesn't make me feel great. And Jermaine says that, the Jazz, he thinks they fared well against the East last year. I don't have it offhand. How about that, though? Hornets here for Cash Kane. Like I said, if the Hornets show up here, I would think maybe they could roll this team, right? But you're looking here. Let's see, what is the injury report? It's pretty clean bill of health, I'd say, for the Hornets as far as recent injuries are concerned. For the Jazz, definitely have issues here still. Big time injuries here. The Jazz are going to be shorthanded big time here tonight. Sexton out, Collins out, Markkanen out, and big noted injuries here for sure tonight with the Jazz. All right. Thomas is on the Jazz and Roberts on the Jazz as well. I still kind of want to take him, but no Markkanen does make me worry a little bit. Ziggy says everybody's almost out. That's kind of why the Charlotte Hornets are in the situation they're in, it feels like here. And you see there, Billy says maybe Charlotte here, but yeah. I still kind of want to take him, but all right. And here's some Jazz for Fernando. Billy says take the under, maybe tease the Jazz here. The Jazz just don't want to win. Hornets and under for Fernando. And all right. Good oldie here. Thank you, oldie. He's working and listening. Appreciate it. Rockets are taking on the Nuggets tonight. Good game here in the West with the Red Hot Rockets, 28-12 right now, 4-game winning streak. Denver comes in with a 4-game winning streak, probably the featured matchup, it feels like, here tonight with these two teams. Denver, we're just a 500 team against the spread so far this season, but they still have won 8 of their last 10 games overall. Got a close to a pick-em matchup here. They've also covered 8 of their last 10 games overall, but the Rockets are 11-7 against the spread on the road, and this defense feels like it is, at this point for real. Now Denver has defeated Houston in 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams here in the Mile High City. Doing a pretty nice job for sure. Denver's also covered 5 of their last 6 games overall, but Houston's won 5 straight games on the road right now. So good game here tonight. It's going to be a little bit tough here, it feels like, for the chat. I don't think we'll get any consensus on this one. Denver has gone over in 12 of their 19 home games so far this season. The two teams have met already. No, they have not. Let me see. They have not met yet this season. In fact, interestingly, this is what got me confused looking at this head-to-head matchup is the teams did not meet at all in 2024. Now, I know that sounds bizarre, but they played all their matchups before the first of the year. I don't mean they didn't meet in the season, of course. They're division foes, but they played all 4 of their matchups before the turn of the calendar last year. So, all right, these teams haven't met in a while. Interesting. All right, go ahead in the chat and see what you want to do here with Houston and Denver. I have Houston listed as a favorite, but I think we're seeing it go down to a pick 'em here right now at some spots. It might be still -1 for the Rockets, but maybe the move is on the Nuggets after all. This feels like the toughest one for me. And let's go to the chat right now. It's going to be Elliot. Started off Nuggets and the over here. And
System playing.
Flanae on Denver here. Chosen one on the under. Ziggy says take the Nuggets against the spread. Cash Kane says take the Nuggets at home. And Thomas says maybe he likes Denver on the money line. Robert is going under here in this one. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's been a series. Like I said, Denver has definitely owned this series between these two teams. So will that continue here tonight? All right. A few more here. Robert going
Steam playing.
under,
Steam
as we
playing.
said. Johnny's going with the Nuggets. And the Nuggets, of course, yeah, talking about that incredible run that they're on, playing on these back-to-back streaks. So, and Thomas says, let's just make the Nuggets a consensus move here. All right. All right, appreciate that. The Nuggets to keep it going here in this series with Houston consensus play. I'll just ride with the consensus again. I mean, that sounds fine. Billy, I agree with Billy here that the Rockets are playing out of their mind defensively here, and that gives them a big, big chance for sure. I'm just not sure they can get over the hump just quite yet. Maybe the back-to-back will help them here at this point. All right. I think that's it for that one. We got a couple more to go here in the NBA with the Heat taking on the Lakers here in LA. We just saw the Heat here the other night. They're making their California stop here right now. They played the Clippers, of course, and lost 109-98. The Lakers are a bit of a runaway favorite, actually, here in this one. They opened as low as, maybe 4.5 at most shops. Some did open it even as low as 3, but the Lakers here are up to a 5.5 point favorite. Here in this one, the Lakers come in here with a 3-game losing streak right now, but they're taking the action here in this one up to 5.5. Lakers are still 10-8 against the spread at home. Miami just 9-12 against the spread on the road. Go to the chat maybe here with this matchup tonight. And the total here has dropped a point or so. Definitely have the two stars of the Lakers. James is probable. Davis is probable as well. DFS is doubtful for this game. As far as the Heat are concerned, Bam is questionable here coming into this one. Go to the chat here right now and see what you guys have tonight with the Lakers and Miami. Tyler Hero to go over for Jermaine. Thomas is on the Lakers. Cash Kane on the Lakers here. And Bo not liking it. Ziggy's on the Lakers. I'm going to take the Lakers too. Man, we're on a lot of the same games here tonight. Hopefully it works out. I'm going to take the Lakers here at home against Miami to snap out of the skid. I liked what I saw there for 3 quarters against the Lakers before they collapsed last time out. Hopefully they can make it a complete game here tonight. Lakers are still 12-6 on the road overall, 12-6 at home straight up, 14-6 straight up against the spread. Miami here on the road, 9-12 ATS. So all right, Robert here on the Lakers. Elliot says that the Lakers haven't been covering 5 points by the Lakers against the Heat in 9 straight games. No, the Heat, in fact, have won the last few meetings against the Lakers for sure, including the matchup back in December at Miami. They beat them by 41 points as a 3.5 point favorite. So Elliott on the Heat here. And Thomas says he's got 6 consensus plays so far with Knicks, Dallas, Bulls, Grizzlies, Nuggets. All right, the Lakers must be one of them too. I'm thinking there if it's 6. Lakers in this contest, I think it's for Thomas. There, he's probably saying, I think he's saying this is also a consensus here. Wow. Okay. Lakers and under here. LeBron, he wants to get revenge apparently on the Heat. Doesn't like the Heat anymore. All right. One last game here as we got the double LA factor. So I would think we were going to see UFC in LA if we're playing these games here at the beautiful Intuit Dome in LA. This is where the UFC is this weekend. So this will be the second straight game now at home for the Clippers. So I'm sure everything's fine there with the arena and everything. And they got the Nets coming into town here to take on the Clippers here. Nets are getting 14 in this one. The total is 213.5. This one's going up a little bit. We know been pounding these Lakers unders here these Clippers unders here for sure of late. Brooklyn did snap their losing streak last time out with a road victory against Portland, 132 to 114. They also covered against Utah. This is their 4th road game on this trip. Clippers were able to beat Miami by 11, 109 to 98 last time out to stop a 2-game skid coming into this one. Nets are still 15-7-1 against the spread on the road. Clippers, though, 13-6 against the spread at home. But the Nets have done pretty well in the matchup against the Clippers, even though they meet just twice a year. And Brooklyn 6-1 in last 7 games here against the Clippers in Los Angeles. Brooklyn's also gone over in 6 of their last 7 games on the road. Even though the Clippers have been a steady under, the Nets are going over for the most part. So I'll go to the chat here and we'll wrap up the NBA. Thomas is on Brooklyn. And Billy says once Butler comes back to the Heat, they can just go at it with Riley. Ziggy here on the Clippers. Roberts on the Nets. I'm going to take the Nets. Roberts on the Nets. I'm on the Nets. Over here for Elliott. And good morning to Sports Money in the chat today. Thank you, Sports Money. And let's see here. I think that's going to do it for the NBA. I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets here as my play, and that's it. So good card tonight. Stay hot in the NBA. I'm going to need it right now. All right, 2 games on the ice tonight. And let's go to the Hurricanes here against the Sabres. And this one got this Hurricanes, this runaway favorite. As I said, the steam came in on the Hurricanes here just as we were kind of getting started with the show. They're a $2 favorite on the road against Buffalo. This has been an okay spot for Buffalo for sure in this position. I don't know if I want to necessarily lay a goal and a half with the Hurricanes, nor do I want to take this moving line here higher right now with a Sabres team that definitely is covering the puck line here at home of late, even if they've had some struggles overall this season, kind of bouncing their way out of that big-time slump here. They've won 2 of the last 3. They won 2 games before losing that game last out against Seattle 6-2, but they were able to beat Ottawa and Washington. So I would think that Buffalo here, they're 15-9 as a puck line underdog, and Carolina just 8-13 as a puck line favorite on the road. So I want to kind of take Buffalo here on the puck line today. Is going to be my pick. They are plus 1.5 at minus $1. Oh boy, I lost my spot here. There we go. Minus 1.5 at or plus 1.5 at minus $1.45. I'm going to take him as my free play here in this one. In fact, it's going to be, I'll just say it right now as we go. I'm taking the puck line on both home teams here at the, going to fade the obvious steam on this one. Yeah, maybe Buffalo isn't quite like as good as Minnesota is, but I'm going to take them here in this matchup. They were able to beat the Canes here a year ago, 3-2. They haven't met yet so far this season, but I'm going to take Buffalo in this one. Let's see here. They have covered the puck line right now in these home games, really strong lately. Just 11-10 on the season, but for the most part, the underdog always covers. It feels like in Buffalo games right now on the puck line. So I'm going to grab them here in this one against the Canes tonight. All right, let's see here. Good morning to Nunya here today. Thank you, Nunya. Hope it's going well. Hope you're working hard. Joe W. here today. Oh, there he is. He's saying hi to Mike. Okay. Hurricanes, here for Ziggy going against me here. He says Hurricanes have owned the Sabres in the matchup between these two teams. I'm sure I'm having them split the last 4 meetings, though. But yeah, long term, the Hurricanes have it. But Buffalo's won the last 2 meetings at home against the Hurricanes. Not this year. Like I said, they haven't met. So Robert going here on the under. And Billy's going to split this game. If it goes right down the middle, like it might here, I would think, in the matchup, why not? All right. Billy likes the Caps to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, it would have seemed far-fetched, but I don't know, not anymore, right? They could get hot here and be strong in the conference. All right. Oh, he's just kidding. Oh, geez, I bought into it. Well, I'm not gonna belittle what the Caps have done this year. Certainly, got to be pretty pleased for them. Textiles in the chat as well. One more game on the ice. It's the Oilers taking on the Wild here, and again, same thing. Feels like a runaway favorite. Right now, Minnesota's done pretty well in covering these puck lines. They're not an underdog very often, but when they are, they've been okay here. 9-8 as a puck line underdog. Just 6-15 on the puck line at home, but they're usually a favorite. Meanwhile, Edmonton as a puck line favorite, 13-26. So I'm not willing to trust them really here. But the two teams did meet already once this season. Actually, they met twice this season already. They've split, each winning on each other's home ice. And Minnesota beat Edmonton 5-3 on the road. And then a few weeks later, Edmonton won at Minnesota by a score of 7-1. So can the home team even it out here in the matchup tonight with Edmonton and Minnesota? Minnesota's won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams here in Minnesota, with that loss being the one loss. So Edmonton's won 6 of their last 7 overall. And Ziggy likes the over. I'm just going to take Minnesota here on the puck line today and wrap up the action with just our 2 hockey games. Just take note that one of the games here, the first game, does start at 6:07. It's a TNT doubleheader tonight. We don't see too many early starts like today, but it will be at 6:07 Eastern, 3:07 Pacific with that first game in Buffalo here tonight. Ziggy says Orlando might be taking some steam here right now in their game against Milwaukee. All right. Going to go to college basketball. I've got a big card tonight with a lot of picks, so I need to get it back somehow in college basketball. Maybe Ramon's a little tilty right now, and that doesn't happen too often on the college hardwood, but got a big card here tonight, so I'm going to take a stab at some plays here on the show for sure, and hopefully be all ready to go with a premium card tonight. Pretty upset but we did have some winners on the show here yesterday, so maybe I could cheer myself up a little bit uh, with some of those plays we had yesterday on the morning steam, including Texas A&M and Kentucky game to go under. We had the under there in that one. Also, we had Ole Miss over Alabama as our premium pick play. We talked. Who was it in the chat yesterday? Talked about those SEC road dogs. It wasn't terrible, right? We also had other winners in the SEC, included Arkansas and LSU game total over yesterday. We had Kansas State over Texas Tech. So, we were able to grab a few winners there with the plays on the show. Also, USC over Iowa, blowout winner here on the show. So, all right, maybe I just picked the wrong ones there. I try to go with the best on the premium side there. So, all right, here we go. Let's go to the games. I got a lot of good ones here. I went big. I think I got a dozen games to look at in college basketball. I mean, look, it's only 10:30, and we're on the college basketball already. Feels like we're getting to that time of year here, almost the middle of conference play, mid-January here. So it's going to be a great second half of the season. Let's start with South Carolina taking on Vanderbilt here in this one, in the another SEC here right now with Vanderbilt, an 8-point favorite in this one, and maybe 8.5 here at some spots right now. This total continues to decline. We already talked about the widely reported steam that came in, and right now it's 140.5 here, and Vanderbilt is up to an 8.5-point favorite against the Gamecocks here tonight. As I said, these two teams have had mostly overs when they face off against one another. But like I said, that steam kind of came in on the over. And Carolina comes in 10-6 right now. Vanderbilt 13-3. South Carolina's lost 3 straight games coming into this one. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt has lost a couple of games in a row. Vanderbilt with losses to Missouri and Mississippi State. South Carolina lost to Auburn, Alabama, and Mississippi State. So they're not having a great year for sure, and they're playing some tough conference games here of late. But Vanderbilt is 10-3 against the spread as a favorite so far this season, and I've got them here to win by double digits. This is one SEC dog I'm not willing to take here at this point. And let's see here. Nothing from you guys maybe here in this one as we get the college basketball started here, but I'm going to end up taking the favorite in this one. I'm going to have to go with Vanderbilt. Now, laying 8.5 in this one. Some steam just came in moments ago. Want to pass this one along, not in the preview, but IU Indianapolis took the steam against Oakland. They were a 10.5-point dog. They're going to be a 9.5-point dog right now as IU Indianapolis took the steam here against Oakland. Also, moments ago, want to mention this one. It's part of our preview, and it's the pick that I was going to make. The steam came in on the under in the game between Utah State and UNLV. It was 149. It's down to 147.5, maybe even 147 here, and I want to take that one as my play. So I'll mention it right now in case you're tailing, or you can look at it anyways and see what you're doing. But I'm going under with Utah State and UNLV, and the steam just came in on the under in that game. Also, steam came in on the Lakers and the Heat game to go under. It was 217, but we're down to 216, maybe even 215.5 there. Steam came in on the Heat and the Lakers game just a couple of moments ago on the under there. I say a couple of moments, but it's actually been a few minutes for sure. All right. Dana says, I think he's saying he likes Washington over Purdue. We'll get to that one for sure, but that's a little down the way here. All right, I'm going to take Vandy over South Carolina as my first pick up. Here we go. UAB taking on South Florida. I'm going to at least try to cover the best game in some of these conferences here tonight. A couple of them didn't have great matchups in some of the smaller conferences, but this looks like the best game here today with UAB and South Florida. And I say in these particular conferences, in the American anyway, this is the best one, right? With UAB and South Florida, feels like today. UAB road favorite here at up to 3.5 right now, so you can see the move clearly on Alabama, Birmingham here in this one. There we go. UAB, this is a series that they've had some success with against South Florida here. UAB has let's see here, 7 of the last 8 games, or won 7 of the last 8 games on the road against South Florida. They've also beat them in 13 of the last 15 matchups overall. So I don't know. I kind of like UAB here. They are 7-3 to the number in their last 10 games overall. USF is 6-1 at home so far this season, but they're just 1-5 against the spread as an underdog. So this one's going to be a little bit tougher matchup. And the fact that it's going up here a little bit, a good point and a half, I'm going to go ahead and take UAB as my pick here on the show. And South Florida, they've been good at home, but maybe they played a little bit easier schedule, and it does feel like right now in the conference standings anyway. Like I said, I'll just kind of mention the way these are the best matchups here. You got UAB 3-1 right now, half a game behind Memphis currently. South Florida is 2-1. So just a half a game back of UAB and 1 game in back of Memphis there in the American. All right. Super True likes Vandy in that one with me. We're definitely on it together. Nunya says he likes West Virginia today in their matchup with Houston. Getting these, he says he likes 17.5. He gets 18, though. He's going for it. Nunya, we just got to take 7. If it's 17.5, if you're waiting for a half a point to smash it, come on, Nunya. We're going with. Well, I don't know if I am going. I just making a general point there. I know Nunez. I'm teasing him. All right. Let's see. Oh, Nunez says, look, I've got to wait and make sure I get my best line. No doubt about it. Hey, there's Bill with more picks. Look at this. Got to roll with Bill here and taking his time to give me these plays, man. So take a look at these with Drake, Utah State, Bradley, Pittsburgh, FAU, Dayton. That's the kind of card that I like, Bill. Thank you. Awesome card here, including some action tomorrow here, I think he says. But thank you, Bill. I like that card. Nunya on the Blazers here, I think, with me. Good morning to Jake Dye. And Super True says maybe over here. And T. Moss in the chat. Hello, T. Moss. And Bill couldn't believe what he saw when they were chanting for Mike Woodson to get fired there. Come on. They were playing a pretty tough team. I know the expectations are high there in IU, but come on, right? Robert's with me on UAB, so I'm going with UAB in this one. Maybe I put so many games in here today to talk about and try to find my mojo in college basketball here. And Kansas is going to be taking on Iowa State here in this one, with Kansas on the road, a 6-point dog against Iowa State. Now, I think the story, gambling-wise, with Indiana continues to be this rash string of unders here. Really, the most no team has gone under as much as Kansas so far this season. They are 1-14 to the under here so far. Also, 5 0-5 to the under on the road. IU 4-7 to the under at home, and that's for a team that is 4-0 to the over it on the road. So you have Indiana here, the biggest under team, and Iowa State definitely going under here of late. And also, this series, it's a dead solid under. It's going to be hard to get away from this one, other than the fact that maybe you could say that 144 is very representative of this matchup being, IU going under, because certainly you would think it would have been higher in most years. But 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Iowa State on a winning streak at home. They've won all 9 home games so far this season. They're 7-4 against the spread at home so far. I'm going to take in Iowa State here to win and cover against Kansas here tonight. Iowa State won the matchup here last year, about 50 weeks ago, 79-75. They were a 4.5-point favorite on that night. It was the only meeting between the two teams last year, but the year before, Iowa State won at home 68-53 in a very low-scoring game. I'm going to take Iowa State over Kansas tonight. All right, here we go. And Chosen One likes FAU. He likes Omaha. He likes Pitt. Nunya talking about his Blazers here. I think Nunya actually hung out with Gene Bartow. Here, Robert says go under, of course. Thomas is on Kansas. Jay Peasy had a big night in the Australian Open. After I went 500 the day before, I went back to the drawing board, and I'm ready to come out firing again here today. Big under, says Super True. And let's see here. Dana, what was he saying? Was he in Bloomington for the game? Dana was at the game in Bloomington there? Is that what he's saying? Oh, man. Incredible. He says they were chanting it in the first half. We saw him. Bill's on KU here. And Robert, he likes Cleveland State in their matchup. Robert, jumping the gun. Robert usually right with me. He's probably worried that we were going to skip over the Cleveland State game, so we want to make his pick now. But you know what? Of course, Robert, we've got that in the preview. You could have waited. Or maybe I think it is next. Hold on. I squeezed one other in. Like I said, I'm going to go over a few different games here, it feels like today. And I'm going to go take a look at the matchups here between Duquesne and G-Dub in this one. Just felt like out of the A10 games here, I felt like this was the best of the lot today. You've got George Washington coming in 2-1 right now in conference, and they're 13-3 overall. Meanwhile, Duquesne, they are also 2-1 in conference play, although they are 7-9 overall. But I figured don't let that fool you, is what it feels like to me. Duquesne's often done well against George Washington. Maybe they've played a little bit tougher of a schedule here. I mean, think of some of these losses they've had. They lost to Davidson on the road here, but early on they were in that losing streak, and maybe they've shed that since then. They started this off the season 0-6 and have since won I think 7 of their last 10 against Division I teams. They had a small school mixed in there as well, but right now GW here is a favorite by 4, maybe 3.5 here at some spots. We're down to 135.5 or so in this one, and I want to take these points, I think, here with Duquesne. Like I said, it's been an okay matchup for Duquesne in the past in the games with George Washington, so I'm going to take them here to hang in. They are just 1-3 against the spread on the road. GW does appear to have some of the better numbers anyway, but Duquesne has covered 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams at George Washington. And I'll try Duquesne here +4. here, and Robert's on Duquesne. And T. Moss says what I'm thinking. All right, no, here it is. Look at this. I've got you. I've got you, Robert Franklin, Northern Kentucky, taking on Cleveland State. Just felt like this was the best of the Horizon games today for sure. Let's take a look at the current standings here in the Horizon. And right now, Cleveland State, of course, 6-1 atop the standings, are a half a game ahead of Fort Wayne and Youngstown. And Northern Kentucky's 4-3 right now. They're sitting in fifth place, 9-9 overall. So I just thought that this was the best of the lot in the Horizon League today. Cleveland comes in 12-6 as well overall this season. So far, these two teams have been kind of unders for sure, right? You got Cleveland State 1-4. The under is a favorite. Northern Kentucky 1-8-1 to the under in their last 10 games. 4-13 to the under overall, and you have Cleveland State here 9-6 against the spread. Northern Kentucky's been pretty rough so far, 0-7 against the spread on the road. You got a pretty manageable number here. I'm going to end up having to take Cleveland State in this one. They're favored by 4, total 131 or so here. Cleveland State often goes over as a home favorite in conference. Usually well over this type of number, but again, we've had so many unders by Northern Kentucky. It does put a little bit of twist on it, but usually you look at these Cleveland State games and they're usually around 140 points at home. So now the game against IU Indianapolis was 128, but they played right at home for that one, went to 142. They played Oakland at home. That was 167. We know Oakland's been in some higher scoring games. So I'm going to take Cleveland State, though, in this one against Northern Kentucky. All right, let's see what else here. Nunya with UAB. And Tremaine's in a meeting. Shh, everybody be quiet. Tremaine's in a meeting here at work, I think. He says, I'm here and can't comment. I'm in a meeting, but he just I think he meant he can't make his picks. Thank you, Jermaine. All right. Next up is we've got 100 of you in here right now. Appreciate all of you guys here today. Let's continue on. I've got another one here with East Tennessee State taking on Furman. Here in this one, like I said, going to cover some, good matchups. It feels like here tonight. So why not head into this matchup with Furman at home, going up against East Tennessee State. I thought this was going to be the best matchup here. Let me take a look at the standings right now in the Southland. In the Southern. Where is it at here? Okay, here we go. East Tennessee State 3-1 currently, 10-7 overall, going up against Furman here. They're 2-2 in conference, but 14-3 overall. We know how good Furman is, but hey, they obviously have a couple of losses so far in conference play against Greensboro and against Wofford. So maybe they were beaten up on some softer teams, but remember, they beat teams like at least Belmont, Princeton, Harvard, and they are favored in this one. 3 and the total here at 141 right now, maybe 141.5. I think Furman's actually moved to a 4-point favorite, actually. Update that line here. I'm going to go under in the matchup with East Tennessee State and Furman here tonight. I think Furman has had a lot of overs in conference play when they are favored, but I think this season we've seen more of a trend to the under so far between these two teams. That's where I'm going to be headed. I'm going to go with the under in this one with East Tennessee State and Furman. See if you guys took any interest in this matchup. Like I said, Furman 14-3, but have already lost 2 games in conference play here. They just East Tennessee has won 2 straight. They won and covered against Citadel, laying 17. They also beat Mercer by 2, but they were a 2-point dog in that one for a push. East Tennessee State just 1-5-1 against the spread on the road. Furman is 7-3 against the spread as a favorite, but I'm going to go under in this one. Furman is 2-4 to the under at home. East Tennessee State 2-5 to the under on the road. I'm going to go under. Let's go to the chat here. Let's see here. Alvin, good job there last night. All right, nothing from that one. I thought that one might be a little tough. Okay, let's go to some Big Ten action here now with Penn State. We're getting some good ball games here. Penn State taking on Michigan State. Penn State 12-5. Michigan State 14-2 right now. And all of a sudden, Sparty's on a roll with this winning streak here currently. Michigan State looking pretty strong here of late. Give me a moment here, guys. Thank you. All right. Michigan State is favored in this one by 11, maybe even 11.5 right now. The total is at 154.5. We've seen this one drop by about a half a point here so far in this one on some widely reported steam here. These two teams have had some unders this season for sure. You got Penn State 0-6 to the under on the road. Meanwhile, Michigan State is 3-9 to the under at home. And Michigan State in this role, conference games at home that often are, going under in some of these matchups. So see what you guys have here. We're in the Big Ten now with these. Now, here's the thing, right? Penn State has been playing maybe some higher scoring games in the past, but for whatever reason right now, they're kind of, definitely going under here, right? You look at matchup against Illinois. It was at 163, but they got blown out so bad it only went for 143 points. Remember, they lost to Illinois by 39 points. They played Indiana, remember, at Bloomington, and Indiana won that game 77-71, but it was 157.5 and only ended up 148. So you look at Michigan State at home against conference games, they have played 33 consecutive games at home, and none of those have been over 153 points. And now you have a total here of 154.5, and you don't necessarily have a Penn State team that's going over, by any stretch at this point. So that really stood out to me. I mean, 33 conference games in a row at home for Michigan State have had 153 points or less. So, there you go. I'm going to take Michigan State. Obviously, I'm saving a little something. Got to try to get back on the beam here. And these are the kind of situations that I like. But they've been backfiring the last couple of nights. But I'm going to take Michigan State as my play. I'm going to lay the big points here. Michigan State is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. Penn State just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. So I'll take Michigan State here, but I think you can see exactly where I'm headed with this one. All right. Robert likes the under here, of course, and James Farm likes Michigan State. Thomas likes Michigan State. I like Michigan State. Dana likes the under here as well. Billy says Cleveland State, they're good at home, but he likes Northern Kentucky Fried Chicken. Boy, KFC, they've really gone downhill, haven't they, since I got my first job at a KFC as a junior in high school. And, I invented my own. They didn't have, back in the day, they didn't have all these kind of, crazy bowls or even but I took a biscuit, I took a center breast, took the bone out, put some barbecue sauce on. I made my own chicken sandwich, and they laughed at me, and now look at them. All right. Next up, Southern Mississippi taking on South Alabama. Kind of going to cover some more good conference action here in this one with the Jaguars are favored by 11.5 here in this one against the Golden Eagles. USA comes in 12-5. Southern Miss just 8-9 overall so far this season, but so far in conference play, it hasn't been terrible necessarily yet for Southern Miss. They're hanging in there with a 3-2 record in conference play. Of course, South Alabama is atop the standings with Old Dominion at 4-1. They had their winning streak snapped last time out. USA lost to Old Dominion as those two teams are now tied atop the standings. USA is in a pretty big under run for sure right now. They are 5-10 to the under overall, but so far in conference play, all 5 games have gone under for USA so far. USA against the spread also, they are 10-5 against the spread overall, and USM is just 4-8 against the spread on the road. So can you do it here today and lay these big points?
Steam play.
Here with South Alabama. See if you guys, nothing looks like from you guys in the chat in this one, so I'll probably just make the play here myself between these two teams. I got to try the under here in this one with USM and South Alabama. Give me the under here at 138. 139. I think it's 139 everywhere at this point, but this spread, this is all 13.5 right now for South Alabama. So I'm going to have to lay off there. Kind of pivoted there. I was thinking about going under as a premium, but I'm going to have to go with it here on the show because that South Alabama, even though if they are going to smash, what's 2 points? 2 points is a little different than a half a point, and up to 13.5. I'm going to back off that now and go just with the under here on the show. I still might bet South Alabama personally, but I don't think I can recommend it. Just for us degenerates here, Robert likes the under with me as well. And Bill Siegfried says, Penn State to cover. Penn State's going to cover. Penn State, Penn State, Penn State. I think he likes Penn State. Oh, man, I should have went with Penn State, I think. If Billy says take it 5 times. I went Michigan State. Oh, no. All right, let's go with Indiana State and Bradley, right? Like I said, we're looking at the biggest games from some of the other conferences here today. Let's go to the Missouri Valley with Bradley here in first place by themselves by half a game. Just want to mention Edmonton. We talked about those plays coming in the steam, right? And we said, they didn't get quite steamed yet, but look at that line. And now here goes Edmonton totally getting steamed right now in their matchup against the Wild. Okay, so here we go to the Missouri Valley with first place Bradley at 5-1 right now. They're 14-3 overall. Indiana State 9-8 this season, and they are 3-3 in conference play. So for Bradley here, they did win last time out over UIC 61-60, but Bradley's having problems right now covering spreads. Maybe they're a little bit overrated here at this point. They are kind of a public darling, but they're just 3-6-1 against the spread in the last 10 games, and Indiana State's been a pretty decent cover so far. 6-4 in their last 10, 5-3 as an underdog so far this season. So yeah, Bradley has a good record, but they're often favored by too many points. Here they are favored tonight by 8 points in this matchup. Here, maybe even 8.5. I'm showing a 9 right now at Bet Online, even though it's juiced to the under. Let's at least make it 8.5 here and keep it at 155 at this point. Indiana State's a big time over so far this season. They've gone over in 12 of their 15 games. Bradley's gone over in 10 of their 16 games. So Indiana State's gone over in all 8 of their games as an underdog, and this series has been a pretty solid over for sure in seasons past. In fact, I'm showing the Indiana State Bradley series as one that has gone over in 5 straight meetings between the two teams here. overall, and Indiana State's gone over 7-1 on the road. So give me the over here in this one at 155 here right now. And it's actually down from a high of 157.5 at some book openers. Make sure that's right. Oops. Yeah. Just fix this here. Sorry, fam. Oh. Okay, there we go. I'm taking the over here for sure in this one between Indiana State and Bradley. All right. Here we go. Maybe a few plays here. Indiana State for Robert Franklin here today. I think Billy Eagle Flyers going over in both hockey games. Super True Story likes this one way over tonight. I think he's saying he's half kidding, but maybe we are going to see 160 or more here. Dana Delp going with the over as well with me. All right. Hey, how about it with all these college basketball games today? But we can't stop looking at the SEC matchups here with Georgia taking on Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee, definitely a couple of clunkers here. Yeah, they won the last game, make no mistake, after that poor performance against Florida, but they weren't able to get the money against Texas in a 74-70 victory. Nonetheless, they're still looking pretty strong here in conference play, and they're favored by double digits here against Georgia today. Georgia definitely has had a good series against Tennessee in years past. Georgia's covered the spread in 9 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams overall, although Tennessee has won 6 of the last 7 meetings. Usually what it comes out down to is Tennessee wins and Georgia covers. Last time the teams met here exactly a year ago, 367 days ago, it was 88-79. Tennessee got the win at Georgia as a 7.5 point favorite, didn't get the money, but Tennessee won the game here 2 years ago at home. They only met once last year, but it was 70-41. So what do you think is going to happen in this one when Georgia takes on Tennessee here in this matchup of ranked teams? Tennessee ranked 6th currently, and UGA, they're top 25 here. This is really going to be a real slobber knocker, it feels like. I'm going to go under for sure in this matchup. So far this season, you have Georgia 0-3, 0-4 as an underdog to the under so far this season, and Tennessee is 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games. So I'm going to go under here with these two, Georgia and Tennessee. All right, nothing from you guys in the chat. Thank you. Here we go with action from the Big 12 with Cincinnati taking on Colorado here in this one. Right now, Cincinnati has had their share of struggles on the road so far, but they're still a favorite here tonight at CU. So, all right, Cincinnati 10-5 straight up. Colorado just 9-6. Both teams have lost 4 consecutive games overall right now. Cincinnati lost to KU last time out, 54-40, as they had to walk up there and get the ball out of the peach basket every time, which is why the clock kept ticking. Anyways, they've lost to Baylor, they've lost to Arizona, they've lost to K-State. Cincinnati is having some struggles. Those are, decent teams certainly, but Cincinnati is supposed to be okay, aren't they? They are just 2-8 against the spread overall. Colorado hasn't been a great spread team either, but at least they're 6-5 against the spread at home. I'm going to take Colorado plus these points at home right now. Colorado is 8-2 straight up at home. Now they are 1-4 straight up as a dog, and Cincinnati is 10-3 straight up as a favorite. But I'm going to try Colorado in this first Big 12 matchup between these two teams here. We'll see how it goes, but Cincinnati is 2-13 to the under so far this season, including 0-5 to the under on the road. So I'm going to take Colorado here, though, +3. All right. Think that's it from you guys. Hello to Donut Silks there in the chat. Oh, and Robert likes the over here in this one. All right, couple more here. We're still going. We've got a great college basketball card today. Let's go to the ACC. Pitt on the road taking on Florida State here in this one. Florida State comes in 11-5. Pitt comes in with a 12-4 record coming into this one. Pitt favored on the road despite a couple of losses here, consecutive losses to Louisville and to Duke. Here they're just 2-4 against the spread on the road. FSU 7-2 against the spread at home so far this season. Pittsburgh is 2-4 to the under on the road, and FSU is 3-6 to the under at home. Pittsburgh has covered for the last 5 meetings between the two teams here at Florida State. And the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this one. Right now, it is still only, in fact, it's down to 149.5. So actually, the totals moved under despite reporting that steam to the over. Interesting to note there. Pittsburgh has moved to maybe a 2-point favorite here. I'm going to take Pittsburgh actually in this one over Florida State. Here, Florida State is 1-4 against the spread as an underdog. Pittsburgh 8-5 against the spread as a favorite. In fact, Pittsburgh is 11-2 straight up as a favorite, and Florida State's 1-4 straight up as a dog. So I'm going to try Pitt here. They've had the better of this series in the past. I said 4-1 against the spread here, 8-2-1 against the spread overall for Pittsburgh against Florida State as they've owned that series. Like I said, Florida State is strong at home right now, but I'm going to take Pitt tonight on the road. All right. And Thomas is saying, right, I'm here by myself every day here. And Robert says, I think school's messed up there. Is that because of the weather there? Maybe Robert. Robert takes Pittsburgh here. And I'll be with him. I'll take Pittsburgh. Like I said, I feel like I've kind of scratched out the premiums a little bit. Look, if I lose these today, come back and get your money back tomorrow on these free plays. But I do feel like I've had to move some of my better plays to the show here right now. I'm probably going to dial back the premiums by just a couple today until I kind of get the rhythm back. I'm sure today will be the day, but you're probably getting some of my best here right now. I'm paring it down. That's why you're seeing the extended card from me here today on the show, and the fact we don't have as much hockey. But like I said, I was tilting last night on the college hoop, so let me get it back here. Let me get it straight. We did see a pick earlier on this one between Purdue and Washington. The 17th ranked Boilers come in 13-4 into Heck Edmondson tonight. Washington has lost 3 straight games overall. Purdue is on a winning streak for sure right now, starting to look pretty good again here, but still just 3-4 against the spread on the road. Washington at home here right now, they are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games at home. I'm going to end up on the under here. Washington is 2-5 to the under as a dog so far this season. Obviously no series history here in this matchup between these two teams, having not been in this same conference, of course, but I am going to try the under here in this one with Purdue and Washington. Washington here did go under in their game against Michigan State, 88-54. They also went under in their game against Maryland. So against, two pretty good teams, the game did go under. Granted, one of those games was on the road, but the Maryland game went under here, 144. So I'm going to try the under here in this one with Purdue and Washington. When Washington has faced good ranked teams, when Washington faces ranked teams at home, they've actually gone under this total in 9 of their last 10 games against top 25 teams. So I'm going to take the under in this one. All right, Thomas is on Washington here, and Robert will take the under with me. All right, I've got more lined up here. How about 2 more? Can you handle it? Did we hear a Steam play a moment ago? Let me see here. Yes, let me pass one along here right now. It was in a game we just mentioned. I mentioned Cincinnati and Colorado and all those unders, but the over got steamed with Cincinnati and Colorado. It was 133.5, but we're seeing it up to 134.5 right now. Like I said, Colorado has, in that role as a home dog, been a little bit of an over in the past a year and a half. But remember, this is a different matchup for them now in this Big 12 against Cincinnati. But nonetheless, the steam came in on the over between Cincinnati and Colorado. All right, Texas taking on Oklahoma. It's always good, no matter what the sport here, with Texas coming in with a 3-game losing streak. OU has lost 3 in a row as well right now. Texas with losses to Tennessee, Auburn, and A&M, but they did cover 2 of those games against the Volunteers and the Tigers last time out, against 2 very, very exceptional teams, it feels like. And Texas has had the best of this series in years past. Texas has won 5 straight games against Oklahoma, and they won 5 straight games at Norman. So Oklahoma here, though, they've won 11 of their last 12 games at home overall. Uh-oh. Timeout. All right. They won. There's some steam flying in right now, so just want to, maybe I can squeeze these in here real quick. They're not great matchups here necessarily. Oh, this one's not bad, actually. Omaha and Denver. I almost wanted to squeeze that one in a little bit, but obviously got one good team and one not so good, it feels like, with Omaha favored on the road. But steam came in on the over here in this one. These 2 teams often go over when they face one another, but the under, did I say it right? Under takes the steam here, was 149.5. Looks like we're down to 148.5 or so, with Omaha and Denver in college basketball steam to the under. Okay, so Oklahoma's won 11 of their last 12 games at home, dating back to last year. They're 8-1 at home so far, straight up this season. Texas is 0-3. Texas is 0-3 on the road here. Just want to mention, Southern Miss and South Alabama has taken some steam to the over. I know I just recommended the under, but the steam's coming in on the over here. I'm not always ahead of the move here. It was 139 as mentioned, but we're up to 140.5 here. It looks like Southern Miss and South Alabama. All right. 4 of the last 5 meetings between Texas and Oklahoma have gone over. I'm going to take Texas here. I'll take the points, but I think they might win this one in the matchup with Oklahoma. Maybe sprinkle a little money line here to get a little bit of plus money. I like Texas over Oklahoma here in this one. Oklahoma solid at home, but I'm going to take the Longhorns tonight. All right. Donut says it's a solid card here. I hope so. Robert went with the under this one. Thomas says maybe Texas here, I think. And let's see here. Nunya says you got to, he's talking to Philly Eagle Flyer about those NHL plays. All right, one more, and the show will be over. We'll get a drawing together here. Steam flying in here.
Steam play.
Wow, it's really coming in. All right, Utah State and UNLV here in this one. We've got UNLV an underdog tonight against Utah State. Utah State, of course, one of the best records in the country here right now. It's 16-1, taking on UNLV, who's actually lost their last 2 games. They're 9-7 here. They've failed 3 in a row. Utah State has failed 3 games in a row despite victories over Boise State, San Jose State, and Fresno State, but they were favored by too many points in those games. Will that be the case here against UNLV here tonight? UNLV lost to CSU as a dog. They lost to Boise State as a dog as it got blowed out in those games. UNLV just 5-11 against the spread overall, 1-5 against the spread as an underdog. But Utah State is 4-8 against the spread as a favorite. So I'm going to go with the under here. This one already got steamed to the under. That line on the screen is very stale right now. It's it is 140, only down to 148.5. So I'm okay with that. I like this is another one, probably would have been a premium play if I wasn't on a little bit of a losing skid here in college basketball. So I'm using it as my play here on the show. I'm hoping to have a big day here on the show. And we're going to roll some premiums here. The show's over. Give me your plays here with Utah State and UNLV. We'll do the drawing. Just moments ago, the steam just came in on Texas and Oklahoma, the game we just previewed right before this, steamed the under here with Texas and Oklahoma. Like I said, this is a series that went over in 4 of the last 5, but here comes the steam to the under. It was 150. Looks like we're down to 148.5 right now at Bet Online, and 148.5 at Circa as the screen is lighting up red over here. That's how I do it here on the morning steam. I don't make these moves up. Hopefully you're tuning in, yes, maybe to hear me make a few picks, but I'm giving you the latest moves from the line service, one of the two, one of the major line services here, certainly every day. So that's hopefully why you're joining me as well. I'm going to take under in the game between Utah State and UNLV. All right, that's going to do it here for the Morning Steam Show. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific for more action. But make sure you join Mikey Money today at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific with pre-gaming. He'll go over the action tonight in basketball and more basketball. And yeah, he'll probably make a pick or two on the hockey games tonight. But also, I know one thing he'll be doing is getting the guys together to record the First Strike broadcast with the guys, with Subhuman Gaucho, with Fanatical Jim, with Jeff M, and with Mike, and they'll make their best plays in the UFC for Saturday. You can already check out our other UFC coverage here on the channel with VB MMA Picks with Ramon Scott. VB had as his guest this week Dagestan Poppy. Whenever you get these Dagestanis in here, you got to bring in Poppy. Shout out if you're watching Poppy here. But, when you've got all these Dagestanis here on this card, I think he's got just 3 or 4 of them, I think. I didn't look closely, but you got to have Poppy making the picks with him. So please check out our show from last night here on the Sports Money Network. If you haven't seen it before, we've been running this show, VB and I, for 4 seasons now, and we've got another big season in the books. Remember, we picked the analyst pick anyway. I'm just the host, but they picked 3 underdogs correctly on the show last week. So pretty good start. Go ahead and check it out here on the Sports Money Network. Get ready for our companion coverage of UFC action here on Saturday from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, UFC 311, with that featured attraction between Islam Makhachev and Arman Sarukian, and a great co-main event as well with Umar Nurmagomedov for Poppy's home area of Dagestan, going up against Merab Dvalishvili. So real good card with some other big names this weekend. Hill against Prochazka is a fight that we've covered on the show as well, if you want to check it out. And we covered the first fight on the card, is certainly an intriguing one between Ulanbekov and Carpenter. So check out the plays here from us on the Sports Money Network. All right, gonna do it. Let's go to the drawing. Let me do my commercial. please consider subscribing to my picks, especially if you're on the do, if you believe in the do factor here. Hey, Christopher Sella, I just want to shout him out, man. Hello, Chris. He's got the basketball there. Appreciate you seeing you, Chris. Thomas says it's the Knicks, the Mavs, the Bulls, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, and it was indeed the Lakers. Thank you, Thomas. We got a 6-teamer out there. And look, the hits are pretty strong. We're up to 100 here watching. So I would imagine we're going to get to 400 views on the show today. So it sounds like to me, if we get 400 views and you got a 6-teamer here, I mean, come on, where somebody could win could it be our biggest prize? That's what I want to do. Look, I know it's, a little bit tongue in cheek if someone wins a $30 or $40 prize, and that's nothing wrong with that, right? But I'm trying to build interaction with you guys, get more viewership for the show. And what we do is I'll put in 1 cent for each view on the show. That's not unreasonable. And just times it by the number of teams in the parlay. So that's the way I'm doing it. If somehow right now the winner of the drawing get us up to 1,000 views, which we've never had on this show, but who knows? Maybe we'll go viral. All right. Get my picks today. Go to winnable.com/Ramon. You get my monthly package for $19.95. That's 50 cents a day. When you use the promo code STEAM there, you're going to get hopefully my best plays today in college basketball, where that still is my strong suit, despite some L's here yesterday for sure. Also, I do like this NBA card a lot, and I might go with both hockey games today if we only have 2. I've already given you my play on the games with the puck line dogs on both games. So, all right, let's get ready for the drawing here and end the show in reasonable fashion here in just about 2 hours. I've really appreciated your viewership and your time. And go ahead and comment in the chat. You got about 30 seconds here if you want to be entered in the drawing for this one. A six-teamer? Is that what Thomas said? Wow. All right. I guess someone could win $240 approximately if this one hits. I better make sure we cover it just in case. We got to hit this. All right, here we go with the drawing here right now. There we go. We're all loaded up. 41 of you have commented today here on the show. So 41 people are entered in the drawing. Fernando's in there. Robert's in. Alvin's in there. Thomas is ready to go out. Chris Sella could win. You guys are in the drawing. Here we go. Thomas, Bo, Sir Mackey, Elliot, Gerardo, Old E, Dana Delp, Fernando, Robert, Christopher, Ziggy, Super True, Toucan, Flynn Jones, Robert McCormick. If anybody deserves to win this thing, it's Bobby Mack. So good luck, Robert. You got the 6-teamer today. Get your Venmo ready. Get your PayPal, get your Cash App, get your Zelle, whatever it is. Hey, Robert, you're a great supporter. Really appreciate you. Love you for always being in here, being my guy to sometimes just me and Bobby Mack making picks here. So if anybody could win this, let it be Robert McCormick. I want to give out a real prize here. Yeah, we've had a couple of winners. I know you guys just said, Ramon, just keep the change or whatever. But if we hit this one, man, I'm let's go, Bobby Mack. All right, that's going to do it for the morning steam. Appreciate you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow with more coverage here from the action in college basketball and and hockey. We'll be back on as well. So appreciate it, everybody. And hey, a little soccer action today. I think I'll be able to get something out here with our lighter card today as well. All right, thanks a lot, everyone, and for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Escape from the team, call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money back with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.